and he should be able, like now it's recording already.
Okay, sweet.
But he should be able to cut it. So.
Okay. All right. So 3, 2, 1. Sammy Gomes, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? My friend, the one and only Sean Connor.
You're the one and only Sammy Gomes. So, man, welcome to our third episode on YouTube. And I asked you to speak, but because of what's going on in South Carolina, you're actually still working from home. And so you're like, let's do a Zoom call, which I thought was even better. We can have a conversation. We get some face-to-face time. So really we're doing an episode, but we're getting to hang out. And so, but I thought this would be really cool. So this is a really good idea by you. And I guess before we get started with our talk, what's it like in South Carolina for Elevation Church, the youth ministry? What's the same, what's different from Florida and South Carolina?
Yeah. I think what's the same is we're stuck at home. Right off the bat, let's start there. We're at home. And of course, that comes with a lot of different things. For some, it's like exciting because it's like all I get to do is play video games and do TikTok dances and watch YouTube videos, and it's life. It's paradise. And for some, it's like, no, I don't want to experience this because it's lonely. It's I feel depressed and I've missed out on all the big moments in my life because I'm graduating this year or I had prom to go to. And so we know that youth are just literally on a roller coaster right now of emotions because we are too. So if we are as adults, we know they are too. And so, of course, that's the same, I would say, when it comes to that. What's different, it's just how we do ministry may look different. The access points that we have may look different, which that just comes with our demographic. I mean, we're North Carolina, South Carolina. You guys are in Florida. You guys can do ministry in tank tops. We can't. And so sometimes it's just the demographics and how we do youth ministry that may be different. But what I love the most is that most of the things in youth ministry right now is the same. Yeah. It's finding ways to connect with youth and finding ways to build community for our youth, even though they're at home, even though they feel like they can't do much right now. So that's what I love the most about this season, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. You said, demographically, obviously things are different and culture changes, but obviously we have the most lenient governor right now. I saw a meme. I can't really explain it because it wasn't a great meme, but it was just pretty much like all of America's this way. And then it was just like we're going to have a party pretty much. And so, but
yeah,
I don't know if that's the best thing, but
here it's weird too, because there's South and North Carolina. And so with our church, we're in both states and of course other states, but we're in both states, and North Carolina's governor is like, let's take it slow. Yeah. And South Carolina's governor is like, oh, let's start opening things up, like anything, everything. Yeah. And we're just like, man, it's so different right now. So we're trying to navigate through that for sure.
No, it's hard because, I mean, even as an adult, I'm not a very political person. I try to watch the news just for information, but it's almost like the president will say something, but the governor's like, well, we're going to do what we want to do. And then the mayor's of the city like, we're going to do what we want to do. And it's just like, what do you do? When Olive Garden opens, you go. Like, I don't like, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But
man. I haven't experienced that yet, but I just imagine people being like, hey, take my order 6 feet away, please. Take my order.
Yeah, are restaurants open right now for you guys?
Yeah, they started to open up, which is insane. And people were ready for that. And I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, I think our restaurants opened 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I think they're at 50% capacity. So I don't know. Florida people, I think what it is I've come to the conclusion is that we have so many false hurricanes, is that like when someone says, I don't think we take things as seriously. I don't know. But
It's like we've
Floridians
got
are just
a lot of
crazy.
hurricanes in 1 year. What's COVID? Like,
Right, and we're about to go into hurricane season, so we're
exactly.
we're
Yep.
prepared for that.
Love
Well,
it.
hey man, we've been on a series, and we've been having Zoom meetings, and just like we've been making videos and whatnot. But really, what we're talking about is hope. Obviously, we need to exercise hope because hope brings joy and confidence in our God, and really helps us to sustain our faith in God in this really hard time. And
Great.
so, that's what we've been discussing. And so, kind of what's on your heart in really your perspective of hope, and what kind of hope we need to have, and how we need to act with what's going on. What do you think?
Yeah. So it's funny because in this season, with everything actually opening up right now, it's weird because there's some friends that we have over here that they've invited us to come over and like sit in the driveway or sit in the backyard and things like that. And it's funny because the invitation is awesome. It's like, okay, like people are actually inviting us to go
Right.
over again. Maybe this thing is changing. And then you get the realization that it's actually still getting worse because things are opening up. And so for us, especially at home, and for me, a husband and a dad with 5 kids, I'm like, I am so not wanting to get sick because I have too many people in my home that can get sick. So I don't have time for that. So unfortunately, the thing is with the invitations, we have been politely declining the invitations. And it seems weird because I'm the one that's relational and I'm the one to do all of that. But in this season, it looks like an interruption, not an invitation. So it just looks different. And I'm like, why is it that way? And why am I so much better saying no in this season and protecting myself? Instead, I would be the one throwing a party in somebody's backyard and just having fun. And it just really has been in my heart this last couple of weeks that what looks like an interruption in this season is actually an invitation for God to move in our lives. And it's very hard for us to recognize that right away because an interruption comes with a negative context. It's like, you're interrupting me. Sean, you get those people that come up to you and they're like, so sorry for interrupt, but, and then they just keep talking. And you're like,
Why'd you say sorry?
Why'd you say sorry? Were you really sorry? Or you're just being polite? That's not even polite. That's actually rude because you're still talking. But it's like, it seems like that. It seems like a season that it's like, sorry for the interruption, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I'm still gonna be here. And there's still uncertainty. There's still doubt. There's still questions. There's still, I don't know when this is going to end.
Yeah.
And it brought me right away to the story of Jesus raising a dead girl and healing a sick woman in the same story. And it actually comes from, it's crazy because it comes from Jesus restoring a dead man possessed by legions of demons, basically. And he was demon possessed. And then before that, Jesus calms the storm. And it just seems like it was an interruption after interruption after interruption. And Jesus kept moving through. And then he now comes to this story where a synagogue leader, Jairus, which he's very powerful, comes to Jesus and asks Jesus, come with me because my only girl is very sick, and I need you to heal her. And Jesus is like, all right, let's go. And his disciples are going with him. And in the middle of that trip, he's passing by many people, and a sick woman that's been sick for 12 years decides, I have enough hope and I've heard enough about this man that if I can only touch the hem of his clothing, I could be healed. Yet Jairus is walking with Jesus saying, I have enough hope that if Jesus can get to the house with me, he can bring my girl back to life.
Right.
And so it's a tension of hope. It's like these two things looks like interruptions. One interruption for Jesus. The sick woman, it looks like interruption for Jairus. Jairus looks like interruption for the sick woman. And both Jairus and the sick woman looks like interruptions for the disciples because they want Jesus for themselves.
Right.
And so they're in this weird place of feeling like, what is going to get better? Is it going to be the sick girl? Is it going to be the sick woman? Is it going to be our situation with Jesus? And everything looked like interruption. And I thought it was pretty cool because the hope that we have in this season, it's going to make or break the interruption that's happened in our lives. Because this COVID looks like interruption.
Yeah.
It looks like, man, everything I had planned in the beginning of January to do in my school year has now gone to waste.
Right.
You know, my graduation and my prom night that I was so excited for has now gone away.
Right.
All of the memorable trips with my friends, everything I had planned for has been interrupted. And the mindset and the perspective I would like to shift tonight is that, is it really an interruption, or is it an invitation for Jesus to finally do what he's been doing, wanting to do this whole time in your life? Because now he has you on pause. Now he's taken distractions away, which may have looked like interruptions, but he's taken distractions away to actually invite himself into your life in ways you had never opened up before to let him in. Because now, instead of fixing your eyes and your attention and your focus on prom, which is a great thing, now he's like, are you willing to talk to me for a little bit? Am I priority in life? Can we like get to know each other a little bit? You know, there's that book that I wrote for you, 66 books. Are you willing to take time and actually read that right now? And some things may seem like, man, but I don't want that. Can I have both? But the thing is that what Jesus tries to do in us sometimes is more important than what he does around us.
Yeah.
And if we're not where we need to be internally, we can't ever be what we need to be externally, to ourselves, to people, and to what God has called us to. And so the woman finds herself in the now. I think the woman was sick with the issue of blood for 12 years is right now.
Yeah.
It's where we're at right now in this season. It's the end of May, and we're still like, we don't know when this is going to end. It's right now. But are you willing to have enough hope to reach still in this moment, even though it has been a while?
Right.
Are you willing to still reach? And Jairus going to his daughter, it's us looking forward to what it's going to be. I need Jesus there too, because I need that to be healed. I need us to come back, right? To meet for youth group on Wednesday nights again. I need us to come to church. I need to hug somebody. I need school to open back up. I need. And Jesus just put it in my heart that a lot of things that we think that we need to come to pass is actually what we want, and what we need is harder, and he's trying to do it in this season.
Yes.
And it may look like an interruption. And so I would just like to change our perspective to really see hope as, sometimes it looks like an interruption. Sometimes it looks like Jesus saying, hey, make better decisions right now. I'm interrupting everything in your life. You know, it's like all of a sudden, like your TV show has commercial breaks. Everything is interrupted. And could it be that it was an interruption just to get your attention, just to grow closer to you, just to love you more, just to be able to tell you, you are exactly who you've been called to be. So stop trying to get it in anyone else. Now you're stuck at home with nobody else, and you can only depend and lean on Jesus.
Yeah.
And I believe that the woman that got healed and the dead girl that was raised to life, Jesus has the same power to make now and what's coming incredible for you. But are you going to hope that what's now can also be incredible? Or are you just focusing on what's ahead? And so for our youth, that's hard, Sean.
It is hard.
It's really hard. It's really hard. But I believe your interruption, however it may come, if you're graduating this year, if you've missed some things in life, if your birthday landed on COVID-19, my word, I celebrated a bunch of people by sending videos in this season to them because of their birthdays. And I told them, celebrate the entire month because it's COVID and it's your birthday. But if you feel like anything small or big has been interrupted in your life, I'm here to tell you and declare it that Jesus, what may look like an interruption, Jesus is actually stopping, turning around like he did to the sick woman and saying, I'm here right now in this moment. And it's actually an invitation for me to move in your life like never before.
Man, that's good. I think it's this huge pill to swallow, and nobody wants to say it out loud. But you know, even though, like you said, like birthdays have been taken away and proms have been taken away and graduation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But because those were taken away, it was an invitation, like you said, to self-reflect our heart and really go closer to God. And even though it still stings, all those things were taken away. But what is, at the end of the day, the bigger picture? It's our relationship with God, which really benefits us the most than having an hour of fun or having a couple hours with music and dance and stuff like that. And hopefully you get to do that eventually, and that, you know, giving back to you and that kind of stuff. But when you have that kind of perspective of like, you know what, that stinks, but the bigger picture is God, it gives you this like the second wave of energy and hope. And like, you know what, it's going to be okay. Because what's most important is now that I have to kind of slow down with God. And all the other stuff is just an extra add-on and a blessing, and hopefully it happens. But what's most important is what you were saying. And so, bro, that was really good. That was super good. My goodness.
And it's because a lot of times we don't see the distraction we had in our lives because we were all busy. We were all doing everything, playing sports. I mean, we were just going. And a lot of times we didn't see any of those distractions as interruptions. We just saw it as way of life.
Yes.
And Jesus is shifting our mindset in this season, saying, those were actually interruptions. What you're seeing as an interruption now because of a virus, something that you can't see, is actually building something else that you can't see, which is your faith. So it's just knowing that we just need to shift what we're able to see through a new lens. And it's funny because 2020, right, is supposed to be the year of vision. And I don't think that has gone away.
Right.
Because I think Jesus is still trying to help us see through a new lens.
Yeah.
What am I trying to do in this season that you have not gotten in the other seasons because you've been too distracted?
It's funny you say that because I was listening to a podcast today with Craig Rochelle, and he's got an amazing leadership podcast. But he said when life is good, you really don't see the flaws in yourself, the cracks that need to be filled and fixed. When life is in crisis, or when life is like this, is when you start seeing the flaws and the things that you change and how much faith you really have. Because
that's right.
You know, just because when life is good, you know, life being good can be the distraction, really. And so, you know, that's really seeing that opportunity of when you're in a crisis, you know, what can I do that's good? You know, you self-reflect and evaluate yourself.
Great. Love it. Love it. Love you.
Love you. I love you more. You can't love me more than I love you.
This is great, man. This is going to be good. And if we can grasp it so quick in this season, we'll be able to learn so much coming into the next season. It's going to be good.
Hey, can I put you on the spot real quick?
Yeah.
I'm not going to have you sing or anything, but unless you want to. I mean, you go to can't everybody sing at Elevation? Is it
I feel like everybody can. Everybody can. So it makes you feel very insecure when you're walking around.
When you pass Brock in the hallway.
Yeah. You're like,
what is maybe some practical application? What is something small or big, like a step that we can take forward to really have that perspective, to change our mindset, our attitude, you know, maybe, I don't know, something off the top of your head, what's helped you in this season? Maybe you saw some of your students do this to kind of help them, like, hey, I missed prom. I missed the biggest moments in my life, but I see the bigger picture of God. What is something that could help, you know, our students get to that place, that mindset?
Yeah, for sure. One practical step right away is stop doing life on your own.
For sure.
And if you're doing life on your own in this season, I wouldn't say it's a loss, but it's not God's best for you.
Yeah.
And so what I've seen happen a whole lot is students are just, and I try to challenge a lot of my students with this too, is find um, positive interactions, but also things that you guys both like. So
Yeah.
if everyone likes Fortnite, do not play Fortnite by yourself. Invite friends along and do it together. And if you like, for some of our girls, if you like makeup and what it has to do with that, I'm sure there's other girls that you're friends with or that that loves the same thing. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that interests should be able to attract other people to do it along with you.
Yeah.
And so whatever that may look like, even if you're watching a movie, what would it look like to like FaceTime about it real quick, put it on and be texting because you guys are both watching the movie together.
Yeah.
Just a way to bring community in everything you're doing. The other thing I would say is, that one app, Sean, that we have that's called the Bible app.
What is it called? What is it called?
Remember the Bible app? Brown. And
Bible? Is it Bible?
yeah, yes. But so one cool thing that I've learned in this season is I went through and I deleted all of the plans that I had like 1 or 2 days and have just been sitting there forever.
We've all been there. I have them on mine right now.
And what I did was I just chose one and I said, I'm going to finish this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to grow with this. And then when I finished it, I went to another one. I'm going to finish this because that's a practical way to grow without feeling like you're failing.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we try to do too many things at once and we fail on too many things, knowing that God has called us to do one thing the best that we can with all of our effort. So if that's one Bible reading plan, don't worry about your friends that's doing 10.
Yeah.
Worry about you and the one that God has called you to do, and how you're growing in that. And the other thing I would say is encourage people. That's another practical way. A lot of us in this season, we are feeling down certain days. It's just the truth. There's certain days we cannot express verbally how we're feeling, but we're like, this is not our usual self.
Yeah.
Why? Well, it's because you feel stuck. And a lot of times we feel stuck, we tend to just go into stuck mode and into depressed mode or lonely mode because we feel like there's nothing else. And that's the hope that we're talking about, to have hope that there's more. And it's just knowing that when you're feeling like that, if you encourage somebody, you'll feel encouraged.
Yes.
It's a weird way. It's
almost that better to give than receive thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it happened. It's the same way with, encouraging people.
Yeah. So if I'm feeling like I'm failing as a youth pastor, I text Sean right away and I tell him how he's killing it. And it's not a fake thing. It's a sincere thing.
Yeah.
But it's me also knowing as I'm doing it for Sean, I'm receiving it for me, because I feel like I have done what a servant heart should do. So all of a sudden I feel like I'm not failing. All of a sudden I feel better because I've decided to encourage somebody. So my challenge for some of us listening today is, who's one person that's been sitting in your contacts for way too long that God has been asking you to encourage and you haven't?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the person that right now, even if you stopped watching, go ahead and text them real quick and tell them how much you miss them, how much you love them, how much you care about them, and be specific, because specificity and encouragement goes a long way.
Let's go.
You can always tell people they're awesome, but what's specific about their awesomeness that speaks to them? And so I would say those three things is what stands out to me the most, Sean.
That's really good too, because you said that even when I'm having a down day, if I try to encourage somebody, that's not being fake, but it's really actually being more authentic because you're trying to be more like Jesus.
Yeah.
Because Jesus came to really serve and not be served. And obviously Jesus had bad days. He was a man, you know what I'm saying? But he continued to love, to preach, and to teach, and just have compassion for people. So really that is being authentic to ourselves and really just being more like Jesus with that kind of attitude. So that's really good, Sammy.
That's right. That's right. So Bible reading plan, encouragement, and get a community around you. Don't do life alone.
Let's go.
It's great.
Let's do this. Sammy, I love you so much, man.
Love you, man. Thank you for this opportunity.
Heck
Thank
yeah.
you. Love Crave Youth Ministry. Y'all are incredible. Seriously.
Yeah. And it was awesome. We got you in physically before all this happened. So when this is all over, we're going to bring you back down. And
Let's
so
do
you can preach to us until we cry like last time. So
Let's do it.
I need a good cry. All right. Honestly, I could probably ramble on for the 30 minutes, but we probably, I don't know how long this YouTube video is going to be, but I just enjoy being with you, bro. And great conversation. Thank you for encouraging us. Great perspective on hope. And it was just an awesome talk. So
Yeah.
I love you and your family. Stay healthy. What's the temperature like? You got a hoodie on.
Inside is crazy because Brittany with AC. I mean, she thinks she's still living in Florida. It's crazy inside, but outside is about 75, 78. It's not bad today.
That's good. It's like the 80s and 90s. It was 91 the other day, but it's very rainy right now. So
Summer all day in Florida. I know.
all day, every day. The beaches are packed. Nobody cares about any kind of rules or phases in the beach. It's like beach is like, like when you get into international waters, like you can get away with like, I feel like that's what the beach is like. The beach is like international waters for like COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like everything goes, it doesn't matter. You just go to the beach.
I know. I think people have their own like, type of like scientists going on in their head with the beach. It's like, vitamin D and salt water, I'm good. No virus can live there. Let's go to the beach.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I've been to the beach. I went to the beach too. It was nice.
I did see that. It looked nice.
I stayed 6 feet away from my wife the whole entire time.
Absolutely.
All right, bro.
Thank
have
you,
a really
man.
good day. Have a really good week. And also, of course, we're on episode 3 right now with Crave, and we're getting people to, subscribe and that kind of stuff. But also another great resource is, what is Elevation's YouTube?
Elevation YTH.
Okay. So yeah, so it's Crave YTH and Elevation YTH. Did we copy you? Probably. Yes, we did.
I mean, it's just, if you're not just using consonants and no vowels when you're a youth pastor, who are you?
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Vowels anymore.
So yes, Elevation YTH. That's an amazing resource. They're throwing out YouTube videos at least 2 or 3 times a week. So that's a great way to watch good content. It's all about good content in this season of being on your phone. So I don't know why I did that. It's not my phone. It's my hands.
Good content.
So, good content. That's what that means. All right. See, I told you we can go for another hour and a half. All right. All right. You got to hang up, Sammy, because I can't hang up on you.
All right. Love you guys. See ya. Y'all are the best.
See you, boy.
Bye.
How do you stop recording? Pause.